Well, there was smoke. Now I can't see it. There's a little bit. There's some smoke. Hiya folks, I am perched on a can. I don't know if this is going to be on my first channel or on my second channel. Probably second. Anyway, we'll find out. So today I'm going to start my driving lessons again. Currently worried about all the different things that could go wrong with the overall plan for my driving and what I'm going to do with it. I have done driving lessons before. Back in 2010, 2009, 2010, did like, I don't know, 10 to 13 lessons, and they're very expensive. And so I learned how to do a bunch of stuff like the clutch and junctions and 3-point turns and night driving and stuff like this. There's a plane up there somewhere, but I didn't keep doing it, and I didn't take my test because of the circumstances at the time. At the time I felt like I was finding out that cars were extremely expensive, and they are extremely expensive. I didn't have enough savings back then as I do now, but right now my savings are just counting down all the time. Reason for getting a car now is obviously the job situation. I've been to interviews and they've told me like tons of people want me to work evenings and Sundays, and when you're on the bus route, you can't do evenings and Sundays. It's not possible. So they want flexibility of hours, I guess, and the only way I can do that is if I start learning car again and actually take my test and start driving one, because that's the only way I can get to any of these jobs that ask for dumb hours. I wish a job would say yes to me for just daytime hours on weekdays, but apparently not many of them do that. So I hope I don't crash and die doing driving lessons again. Hopefully I'll pick it up and get good at it. I've been watching a lot of driving type videos on YouTube recently. I've been watching Conquer Driving is a good one. He's an actual driving instructor and he's teaching you how to do lessons online basically. He's Richard Vanders. His last name, I don't know why I find his last name funny. I feel like it should be a hero in an action movie, and like all the villains and all his colleagues in the police HQ should be like Vanders. Okay, I'm just mocking someone's last name right now, but all in jest. Anyway, he's a good channel. He's very confident at what he does, and yeah, he reminded me, he gave me a nice refresher of what it was like when I was driving. Which has brought a lot back to me. I quite enjoy using the clutch and stuff, but there's a lot of things I didn't know that he's taught me about the clutch and stuff that my previous instructor, Andy, I don't think taught me about. There's still a bunch of stuff that he talks about, this Richard Vanders guy, that I don't quite understand yet. Like he's talking about rev matching and he's explained it to me, but I still don't understand what he's saying, so I think that might be a flaw in his teaching, because I don't get that yet. Something to do with the clutch and gears and speed before changing over, I think. Anyway, yeah, so hopefully, I mean, it's going to cost me a lot of money, it's going to eat through my savings, which are going down now anyway, but maybe it'll put me in a better position. My plan is it'll put me in a better position to be accepted for the jobs, because a lot of people ask Sundays and evenings. A lot of people ask night shifts, and they pay more for night shifts. Also, I can apply for more different types of jobs because I have a car, so I know how to drive. So I can do driving jobs like estate agent, postman, delivery guy. Although I'd need to get I could get a car van mix. I mean, I could work in a car van mix. I can't work in one of those HGV things, heavy goods vehicles, trucks and lorries. Can't do that, and I'm not sure I'd want to. But it's a start knowing how to drive, because then you could transition onto a different kind of vehicle, I suppose, once you know sort of the basics of the road and stuff. So I hope my driving instructor is not going to be awful. He's had some, testimonials on his site. He doesn't have many. He's got like 4. I think he should fill them up with more of his students. But they were all like happy with him. And he lives where I live, which is good, because I contacted people in Plymouth for driving instructors. I've asked like 12 driving instructors so far, and I think they've turned me down. A lot of them saying because they're in Plymouth, they can't drive to me to begin lessons, which is odd, because when I was doing lessons with a guy from Tavistock, we used to drive back and forth to Plymouth all the time as part of the lessons. So, is that laziness on their part? I don't know. But maybe it's like fuel economy and them cutting down on journeys because they have to go back and forth to pick me up and take me back or whatever. Reading the highway code for an ANCAP. And I should mention, there's a thing in driving and motoring called NCAP in the UK, I think, and then in Australia and New Zealand it's called ANCAP, and it's like some kind of safety control authority, like vehicle safety or something, which is like the opposite sort of shit to ANCAPs, as in anarcho-capitalism, which is, freedom, which is risk, which is against safety, which is control. And people are talking about lockdowns again. Fuck that. Especially while I'm doing my driving lessons, guys. Don't fucking lock us down and do all this bullshit, you government assholes, while I'm starting my driving lessons again. That would be hell. Anyway, yeah, as a freedom advocate, digging through the highway code and relearning the highway code is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, you think of driving when you're a kid and you think, oh, there's so much freedom in driving, isn't there? It's so free when you have a car. If you had a car, you could go anywhere. But in reality, it's like a big system of control. You have to abide by hundreds of rules, and there's like bits in the highway code that like you must not, and they're meant to be the ones related to law, whereas like if it's like you shouldn't or don't, then it's like not relating to law, just general guidelines, but they'll probably make it into a law at some point. Yeah, so it's a bunch of restrictions and stuff, and as far as I know, the libertarian or ANCAP view, it starts out with you don't need seat belts, and it could also very easily contain you don't need all these rules when driving. You just need to know how the roads operate and know how to drive, and you can organically do all this stuff, like be a good driver, not hit pedestrians, not hit other cars, when you know how to do it, and you don't need like signs and stuff and road markings and all this. But that's another topic entirely, because not only am I a slave to this government, but I have to be a slave to the controls and stuff of the highway code in order to learn to drive. I'm stuck with that. Yeah, so it's all about abiding by systems and stuff. And unfortunately, if I get a car, I'd have to start paying taxes again, because road tax, which is it sucks ass anyway, because I'm not really paying tax right now at all, because I'm under the threshold, and I have been when I was working. I've been under the threshold, and I guess I'm paying tax in terms of going to the supermarket and buying food, because they add VAT onto shit, value added tax. But other than that, I haven't been paying tax since I lived at a flat. So yeah, there's another government system of control that I'd have to abide by, which is a load of bullshit for someone with my views, but we're not in a position to overturn the systems or anything right now, not until more support is raised, so we are stuck with the system and we've got to work in the system, unfortunately. Yeah. But whenever someone says safety, obviously it makes me cringe, and they don't mean safety. From my point of view, what they mean is taking risks, but being able to calculate your own risks based on knowledge and because when you're at a junction and stuff, you're not safe. I mean, no one's safe. Life isn't safe. When you're at a junction turning into it, there's nothing safe about that action. You are taking a risk, but what you're doing is based on knowledge. You are calculating your own risks, calculating when it's wise to take those risks, and that's what the whole ANCAP and libertarian thing's about. Whereas if you look into safety, everyone thinks it's just a mild, kind, cutesy word that is good and morally right, and it's not that at all. And if anything hit that home for us, lockdowns should have, and they're trying to bring those back for this winter apparently, but I don't agree with it. Do not comply if they do that. Oh, look at the clouds right now, it's all clearing up and the clouds are going bubbly and being brushed along behind me. That's cool. I got this Norwegian weather app thing because the previous weather app I had on my phone, they just kind of discontinued it, so it vanished from my phone, so I had to find a new one. The best one I thought was this one from Norway, Met Office. It seemed to be doing its job at the start, but now it just seems to be like getting it wrong all the time. And it said it was going to be pissing it down with rain today, and clearly it's very hot, overcast and silvery, and the sun's trying to come out. And it doesn't look like it's going to rain at all. Although, I don't know what that tor is over by Plymouth. That looks like it's going to get some rain right now. Is that? I don't know what that is. See that one? Looks like the clouds are dropping their load on that hill anyway. But the rest of it is quite dry looking. And there's lots of weird stuff in the highway code. I remember first time reading it through back in 2009 when I was doing lessons. There's some weird, very strange rules in there that don't make any sense. Something about having a radio on in a tunnel, I seem to remember. And then I happened upon a rule reading it through recently. I think I'm almost 25% the way through the book, and it's like, there's a type of single carriageway which has 3 lanes and nobody's allowed to drive in the right hand lane. I think I'm going to have to reread the rule because it does look like it's saying this single carriageway, you use the left hand for driving, you must use the middle lane for overtaking, and then nobody's allowed to use the right lane for anything under any circumstances. Like, that was my reading of it anyway. And I was like, where are these? Why are these things? Have I seen one? And why don't you use the right hand lane for anything? Anyway, yeah. So I was thinking of doing little debrief vlogs. I mean, tons of people learn to drive in the UK, so it's not going to be surprising to most people. It's more for people like me who are either learning to drive or thinking of learning to drive. And yeah, I just like, maybe after each lesson I'll do a vlog recapping what I've done and what I struggled with and what I was shown and what I went through. We'll see. That's my thought in doing this vlog. And the sky is getting more and more interesting as I talk. That's cool. It's very silvery still. It's not full on. Oh, there's blue sky up above me actually. That's cool. Yeah. And hopefully it goes well. And yeah, there's a lot of control in driving. You are controlled by where you can park is one big thing. You know, you think you can go anywhere, you can't, because a lot of places you can't park and a lot of places you can only park for a certain time. I was surprised with Richard Fanders saying that most roads that don't have lines on either side you can park on. That just seems really counterintuitive to me, but apparently it's fine. There are so many roads like that with no line markings on the side where I just looked at them while, like, I was being driven by my dad and just thought, there's no way anyone's going to park there. It just doesn't make sense. But apparently you can, so yeah. And I don't know about where you can park long term and stuff. So there's a lot of things I got to find out. I think I can tell you the car my instructor looked like he was going to use, unless he's changed it, looks like a Ford. Maybe it's a Ford Escort or something. It's one of these new, like, modern variants, which I can't stand. I love the kind of 90s cars and stuff. I'd probably try and go for an older car. If it wasn't, like, in a dangerous state or anything. Try and get a slightly older, more boxy car. I don't like digital readouts and stuff that are all over the front of cars these days. I hate those things. And the more digital they are, the more open to control they are and stuff, and I don't want that shit. Apparently you don't need L plates after you pass your test and you're still like a newbie, but you can get something called P plates, which I haven't really seen much of, to say that you're still a noob until you get better at it. So I might look into those. I don't know what car to get at the moment. I have a vague idea of the kind of cars that I'd like to get. I think I need to see it in front of me and see, you know, the handbrake needs to be in the right place, the seats need to be the right thing, the fucking rev counter needs to be kind of hopefully analog or just clear, if not analog, so I can see it properly. Stuff like that. It needs to be spacious and not cramped, so I can carry stuff in it. No point in having a car if you can't friggin' carry much in it. Yeah, cars are very controlling. The freedom part of it still kind of exists. If you can find places to park, and if you can try and keep the costs down and stuff, then I'll be able to go more places on Dartmoor. I'll be able to do self-motivated Dartmoor videos, as long as I can get there without crashing, and drive sensibly, drive in a way that doesn't kill me, park up somewhere. Then I'll be able to do a bit more Dartmoor walking vids on this side of the moor. I don't know, maybe consider what it would be like to do a long distance drive. I'd need a car that's capable of doing that, though. You don't want to get like a tiny car that needs constant refueling or something if you want to get up to the Lake District or whatever. Yeah, which sounds like a very long journey to be driving, but yeah. I don't know, man. I'm very new to this. I was very anti-cars for the longest of time, and now I'm beginning to get pro-car again. Down with you, Les, and the war on motorists. That's more lockdown bullshit. Anyway, if I do the vlogs for debrief, you'll see them. If I don't, this has just been a vlog saying, hey guys, I'm learning to drive. I'm sure if I get good at it, I might do some vlogs in the car or vlogs walking from where I park the car anyway, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. I hope nothing cocks up. Catch you later, guys.